Hey YouTube, thanks for tuning in to Permission to Exist. Let's talk about how a narcissist grows. One key element that enables the narcissist to get away with what they do is their targets often cannot comprehend or believe that a person would intentionally set out to harm them or manipulate them or have a plan or have some agenda. They can't fathom that. It doesn't make sense to them. They can't process it because they would never do that to somebody. So if you're just coming across the concept of narcissism, I highly recommend you study it intensely, read books, watch my channel, watch other channels out there on YouTube. Dive deep into the subject. And as you dive deep, open your mind and heart up to really internalize the reality that the boogeyman does indeed exist. It is so hard for us to process, but I think here's one way to think about it that really helps it sink in for me is it's just as hard for me to process treating another person the way narcissists treat people as it is for a narcissist to experience real love, empathy, compassion, emotion, and feelings. So just how we can't comprehend how they can't feel those things, they can't comprehend that we do, because they really want to understand it. If you really want a good glimpse into this, watch the TV show Dexter. It's on Showtime and Netflix. Now, Dexter was a serial killer, but I mean, isn't narcissism the precursor? I mean, don't you kind of have to be a little bit cold to do those kinds of things, or a little bit lacking in the emotion or empathy department in order to carry out that kind of stuff? But Dexter couldn't feel anything. Narcissists can't feel anything because if they did, they would never be able to treat people the way that they do. And that's why people who tend to be their targets have such a tough time, and they spend a lot of time making excuses for the narcissist. And the worst thing for someone in that kind of situation is to have a friend or family member who is in the habit of making excuses for narcissists, because all it does is teach you to doubt yourself. It teaches you to doubt your instinct, teaches you to doubt your gut. Here are some of the ones that I think are the most detrimental. Everybody makes mistakes. That's life. Life is going to have its ups and downs. Nobody's perfect. You have to be patient. You have to be forgiving and loving. People gave you a second chance, or sometimes they'll bring religion in and say God forgave you, so you have to forgive others. Now here's the thing. A lot of those things are true, but to what extent when it means someone is violating your boundaries and treating you like you don't exist, treating you like you don't matter, like you don't have a voice, treating you like you're insane, making you believe that what's real is not real. So you're supposed to be patient and loving and kind with that. You're supposed to say nobody's perfect and everybody makes mistakes when the mistakes are intentional. That's where it becomes unhealthy. Yes, everybody makes mistakes and nobody's perfect. But, you know, healthy, normal people don't set out with agendas to harm other people. They just don't. It's not even in their makeup. And that's why they struggle so much with narcissists, because they attribute it to something else. They must have had a rough childhood. Maybe they have a mental disorder, which they do. You know, maybe they've just never had anyone who really loved them. And if I love them harder, I can love them out of this bad behavior. Maybe if I keep teaching them and giving them examples and analogies, something will click and suddenly their behavior will change. And the truth is, it just won't. They are fundamentally disordered, and that's what's hard to accept. It's hard to accept that there really is nothing you can do to fix them or change them. The best thing you could ever do is establish a hard, firm boundary and stick to it. But you just have to prepare for the fallout when the narcissist doesn't get their way, because they're going to go ahead and throw that narcissistic temper tantrum that normally keeps you in check, because you hate to see it, you hate for them to be upset, and you hate to be the cause of their upset. So you do everything in your power to avoid them being upset. At any rate, you have to start believing in the boogeyman, and it's going to be challenging because often they come in very pretty packages. So you have to just accept that there are people who are not like you out there, who are very, very different from you, and who are targeting you because you don't think that they exist, and that's why they're able to operate. So start believing in the boogeyman. Start believing in that. When your gut senses go off and tell you something's not right here, trust that. It was in, I don't know what book, it was one of Sherry Argov's books, Why Men Marry Bitches, one of those books. And she said, a fox does not doubt her instincts in the wild. If a fox is scared, the fox runs. The fox doesn't go, oh, these might be friendly people. This might be a friendly bear. No, the fox hightails it out of there because the fox cannot afford to be wrong, and neither can you. So if you're having doubts, if someone is lacking the fundamentals of good behavior and the fundamentals of good character, you don't have to teach them. It's too late. Get out of there and go find someone who knows the basics of respect and decency and how to treat others. Go find someone who knows those things already and build your relationship on top of that. But start believing in the boogeyman, identifying them, and getting them out of your life as soon as you possibly can. And you'll start to slowly eliminate and you'll start to slowly repel the narcissists that see the goodness in you, but they'll see that boundary. They'll keep walking. Take care, everybody. Be safe out there.